it was all laid out in the intro there. This is really an unprecedented backdrop to host a national election. What's your expectation for the markets, at least in the short term?
Well, the markets in my opinion, have been discounting a sort of a blue wave of a Biden presidency in a Senate that would be Democrat. And as these polls, or certainly the Senate, has tightened, I think that's where the question will come in. I think the market wants stimulus and may not get as much as it thinks that it wants.
So in terms of stimulus, as we kind of look ahead toward the latter few months of the year, how bad do you think a second wave of COVID would need to be to actually get stimulus in a lame duck Congress?
Well, again, in a lame duck Congress, I wonder if you'll really get anything done in a lame duck Congress. It's going to depend on, shutdowns versus a stimulus in terms of the economy. One of the things I think is that's going to be uncertainty for the market is just the election in of itself. If you read the polls, everyone thinks, Biden should be having his party. Here in the Midwest, there have been some things that suggest it's tightening. The Iowa poll suggests it's tightening. And this is going to equal uncertainty if we don't have a winner, this week. I'm not sure we're going to have a winner tomorrow night. But if we don't, that uncertainty, primarily around fiscal stimulus and additional QE, is going to matter.
With that QE, the Fed has increasingly become, it's seen as this backstop to the lack of stimulus that we've had. But former New York Fed President Bill Dudley has come out and said that the Fed is really lacking in firepower at this point, that there's not as much that the Fed can really do to help support the markets. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I think that especially if you're going to have an economy that could shut down because of a significant increase in COVID, you're going to need fiscal stimulus. You can't shut the restaurants and then not provide stimulus. That's just not going to work. I think the market knows that. I think the American people know that, frankly. But on the other hand, the old adage that you don't fight the Fed plus $2 trillion of fiscal stimulus, that would be quite good for the markets, at least in the short run.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.